why are most of the Muslims terrorists? And especially after 9/11, after the 7th July, the 7/7 London bombing, there was a common statement that all Muslims are not terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims. What is the meaning of the word terrorist? Terrorist, by definition, means a person who causes terror. Whenever a robber sees a policeman, he's terrified. So for the robber, the policeman is a terrorist. I'm aware that this word terrorist is more commonly used to terrorize an innocent human being. Many a times, two different labels are given to the same person for the same activity. More than 50 years back, there were people who were fighting for the freedom of India when the Britishers were ruling over India. And these people, by the British government, they were called as terrorists. Whereas by the common Indians, they were called as freedom fighters, as patriots. Same people, same activity, but two different labels. If we agree with the view of the British government that the Britishers had come to rule over India, then you would call these people as terrorists. Whereas if you agree with the view of the common Indians that the Britishers had come to do trade, they had no right to rule over us, then you would call these people as freedom fighters, as patriots. Same people, same activity, but two different labels. So here we realize, depending upon how the media portrays certain things, the projection, it changes. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the glorious Quran, in Surah Al-Hujurat, chapter number 49, verse number 6, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu. That, oh, you believe, when a wicked person comes to you with information, check it up before you pass it out on the third person. Whenever we get any information, we need to verify it before passing it on to someone else. We should not just blindly forward it or pass it on to someone else. We should verify whatever information we get, then we should convey it to others. We have the example of the American Revolution in 1775. George Washington, when the Britishers, they were ruling over America, George Washington, he was called as terrorist number 1. Later on, when America gets its freedom, George Washington, he's made the president of USA. Imagine terrorist number 1 becomes the president of USA. We have the example of Nelson Mandela, when South Africa was ruled by the white apartheid government. Nelson Mandela was imprisoned in Robben Island for more than 25 years. And Nelson Mandela, by the white apartheid government, was called as terrorist number 1. Later on, when South Africa gets its freedom and the white apartheid government is thrown out, Nelson Mandela gets the Nobel Prize for Peace. Imagine terrorist number 1 gets the Nobel Prize for Peace. Not that he was bad, then he became good. For the same activity for which he was called as a terrorist, he gets the Nobel Prize for Peace. So here we realize the media, it is very powerful. Whatever label the media gives an individual, that label gets stuck to him. The media, it can convert black into white, day into night, hero into villain, villain into hero. We Muslims, we should use the media for conveying the message of Islam to the best of our capabilities.